Hello everyone. Just I'm audible. Online student, very good afternoon. Okay, all of you can switch on your webcam if you can. So मैं चश्मा नहीं उठाया. Okay, so we have Meghna with us, 79th rank in this year, 2024 UPSC, and her first preference is IS, but she will be very fine if she'll get the IFS, and hopefully she will get IFS. And she was our PSIR foundation student, and she has also been with us in crash course and answer writing. Though Gaurav, switch off your mic. So though we keep telling you so many things, but it gives you boost and confidence when you listen these things from someone who has been through the process recently and has scored such a good rank. So if you have anything which you think you want to ask from her, and one more thing, she has scored the maximum marks in interview this year. Her score is 215, which is the highest for this year. Okay, she has a very good articulation skills. So if you have anything which you think can help you out and you are feeling stuck anywhere in your preparation, you can ask her. So I'm giving the mic to Meghna. So she'll introduce herself to you guys, and it's not a question, it's not a one-way interaction. Let's make it more interactive. So rather than she telling you things from her side, take best of the advantage of this session by asking things from her. As you all are starting, most of you have just started the preparation, and many of you are at that stage of your preparation where she was last year, because she was also not able to qualify a first pre, and she might also went through the same emotions which all of you are right now going through. I'm talking about those who have given the attempt this year and not been able to qualify the pre-exam. So probably you will be able to relate more with her, because we gave our exams way back. It has been a decade, so probably will not be able personally will not be able to understand what exactly the emotions you are going through, and you will be able to relate with her a bit more. So take best of the advantage of this session, and after that we'll start the class if we're left with the time. Okay, and help them.
ठीक है
तो नहीं आ ठीक है ऐसे ऐसे इसको एक सेकंड, हाँ ऐसे.
माइक
हाँ, this is the mic. हाँ, it is.
हाँ
Now she's audible.
but this is not remaining in my ear. I'll just hold on to it like this. चलो ठीक है, नहीं ये kind of हो गया. I'm audible, right? Like just do this, okay? And okay. Yeah, they said yes. Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Meghna. I have cleared the exam this year. This was my second attempt. I have done my bachelor's in history honors from St. Stephen's College and my master's in politics and international relations from JNU. So I finished my master's in 22, and then 23 was my first attempt, and then 24 was my second attempt. In 2023, last year, the year before, I could not clear prelims because of CSAT, 3 marks se reh gaya tha. And then this year I managed to get through all the stages. So I'll just provide like a very brief like outlook on like the things I want to say, and then please like you all take it away with whatever questions you all have. So I'll say from the beginning, you all are at a stage of the of preparation where it's natural to have many questions. This is probably going to be the most overwhelming time. After this, things will start getting simpler, and there are too many questions in your mind. One mistake that I had made, which I was like speaking to like sir also about, is that when you join a coaching institute, that doesn't mean that your part of like the work and responsibility gets over. A very big mistake that we make is कि like join कर दिया और बस हमें बस class attend करना है, notes लेना है, बाकी ये लोग देख लेंगे. But don't make that mistake. It's very important that you look at the syllabus, you look at PYQs, maybe you listen to some like topper talks. I'm not saying this for myself, but I've also like listened to many like topper talks, and all kinds of them. Listen to people from different backgrounds. Those who've made it in later attempts will be able to tell you what not to do, what mistakes to avoid. Harsh, I think your mic is on. And those who made it in like first attempt or something, they can like really tell you that these are the tricks or this is the way you can approach it. So that's why. So you all have to take initiative throughout the process. At no point can you leave it to anyone else, because their help and guidance can matter just as much as like you all do with it. So it's all going to ultimately depend on you. Second thing, right now, again, it's going to be a very overwhelming time also, because you're going to be confused by like kya sources follow karu, there's so much in the market, what do you do, and you're constantly going to second guess yourself. Keep ek kuch question dekha mock me in prelims and you're like, this is not there in my source, so should I read like a new textbook? So I'll say, regardless of if it's right in the beginning, or maybe you all have not been able to clear prelims this year and you all are targeting next year, take some time out, take like a week or something, just settle your source, for every subject, regardless of what it is. Don't try to double your workload, keep it as simple as possible. But once you decide your sources, then don't keep like waddling, it doesn't make a difference. It just matters that whatever you are picking, you have to do it properly. Okay, so about my sources, again, standard ones, like for polity, I'm just talking about the foundation ones. I've looked at Lakshmikant, and I was following earlier Rao's ka mains compass for the mains part of it. For history, I have done Spectrum for modern. Then what else? I think Poonam Dahiya for ancient and medieval. Am I still audible to you guys? I feel like I'm holding this in a weird way. And then there was Nitin Singhania for art and culture. Okay. My ears too small for. Yeah, so Nitin Singhania for art and culture is what I was following. For geography and environment, I followed PMFIS because I wanted one textbook type का compilation जिसमें मुझे सब कुछ मिल जाएगा. For economy, again, I'd followed Rao's ka mains compass at that time. And yeah, science and tech, I spent a current affairs type approach to it. Because I think for mains, that's mainly for both prelims and mains, I think that's what you need apart from PYQs. So yeah, so I feel like whatever your standard sources are, do those properly, because that's going to form the base of all stages of the exam. Unko bar bar padho. So I have an approach in which I didn't make notes. I've not been a note maker since like school and college, क्योंकि मुझे समझ में नहीं आता कि मैं कब notes बनाऊँ, when do I learn them, when do I revise them. So that's something that really confuses me. So I left that part कि I have settled which books I'm going to study from, and I'm directly going to do those like properly. So my foundation wale sare sources I've done several times and properly. And then the part that I need to do beyond that, again, you have to like read it with a lot of like focus when you're studying. That like helps with memory and retention. So I think everyone is going to have a very different approach to this exam. At no point should you doubt yourself ki like I have heard all toppers study NCERT, so I should also do it. I have actually not studied from NCERTs because I have a humanities background, so I didn't want to repeat all of that. I wanted very exam relevant sources. So what coaching institutes do is provide you with exam relevant sources, with PYQs, everything, analysis, that this is exactly the kind of info that can be asked in the exam. NCERTs don't exactly do that, but if you're from like a science technical background and you need that kind of concept revision and all to be done because long time since you've done it since school, then it's advisable. So everyone's going to have a different approach, but there's few things that you should all be doing. One is the consistency part of it. Like I said, it's going to be very overwhelming right now, but if you study properly, 6 or 7 months later, you'll have a very different perspective on the exam, and it's almost going to be magical. Ki like kal tak I was so nervous कि मैं ये भूल रही हूँ. I'm like, I did polity, and then the moment I moved on to economy, I started forgetting that. So all of this is going to happen. But I used to refer to it as like critical threshold cross ho gaya hai. Once you cross that, everything is going to seem a lot better. You will remember what you read. You will be able to make those interconnections between different subjects and different lines of the syllabus that you need. You will be able to go beyond your books to absorb like things that you read in the newspaper and connect it. You will be able to do all of those things. So right now, instead of getting overwhelmed by like too much about whether you're doing the right thing or not, fixate on your sources and then just execute your strategy. Whatever your per month, per week, daily plans are, just keep following that approach. You'll see how things will change in a while, and it's almost going to be sudden. You'll feel a lot better about yourself at that time. So that is one thing. Second thing is the practice component of it. The reason I didn't clear prelims in my first attempt was that although I think I was good on the content front, and like I said, like the prelims cutoff was 75, I scored 82. I could have scored 85 and I didn't do that because I was taking tests online. I did not think at all about the fact that OMR sheet mein mark karna in the exam room is going to be very different. So you need to have a test taking strategy when it comes to prelims. So you need MCQ practice, test taking strategy. For mains, you need answer writing practice. For interview, you need articulation practice. So that practice component of every stage of the exam is crucial. So don't think कि like मैं बस content पढ़ रही हूँ, मैं ये करूँ, as long as I read my books properly, I'll automatically be able to like go and do well in the exam. That's not going to happen. You need to spend enough time on practice. So for prelims that involves एक तो तुम अच्छे से 10 years का PYQs तुमको करना है, and that doesn't mean solving PYQs. That's another mistake that people make कि I just solve the papers. It means properly analyzing them. You go through those statements, you Google all of those topics, you Google the options as well, you know. So you build that extra knowledge base beyond your textbook, which will help you a lot because prelims is very random nowadays. You know, you can't really guess. So for example, batteries पे कुछ अगर question आया, so you look up, you'll Google the topic of batteries, you'll come across, okay, this is lithium ion battery, these are sodium batteries, why did we phase out of nickel, cobalt batteries or whatever. So, you know, you get a bird's eye view of the topic. Now, next, energy is a topic that repeats every year. Even this year, I think there was a question on batteries. So, it's probably going to be come in some form or the other next year as well. But because based on PYQs, you Google that entire topic, you kind of have like a general knowledge base to attempt that next question as well. All of this will not always be in your textbooks. You have to Google the topic and say like UPSC and then find like some note online about it. Okay, so put in that effort, and for prelims come up with a test taking strategy in how many rounds do you want to solve the paper, how much time in each round, at what point do you want to fill in the OMR sheet. Same for CSAT, like you should prepare all topics, but no matter how difficult CSAT seems, there will always be doable questions. Out of 80, all you need to do is find your doable questions. You already know the cutoff mark for it. There's no arbitrariness here. Do just enough to like get past that in a safe way, I'll say. Like decide your attempts as per your own accuracy. No matter how difficult it is, just like tell yourself, I will play to study everything. Study for all sections of CSAT, prepare for every topic within numeracy and all as well. But when you're attempting, play entirely to your strengths. Like bekar ka risk nahi lena. The mistake I made in my first attempt was that I could see 2023 is a difficult paper, but instead of hunting for the doable questions, I started just following it serially. Ki main 1, 2, 3, 4 kar rahi hu, which is very, very foolish of me. Like I remember seeing Animesh Pradhan first Chopper Talk, and he said, like an engineer saying ki in half an hour he saw ki math solve nahi ho raha hai, he switched to a different section of the paper. I didn't do that for some reason. So that's the thing, like for CSAT, you have to keep your like mind alert in that way, hunt for it. For mains, do answer writing right from the beginning. As you keep like studying your content, keep writing answers, but full length tests are very important, okay? Writing one answer separately and doing 20 answers at one go in 3 hours are two very different things. So another big mistake I've made when it comes to mains. So like sir said, I have got the highest marks in interview. Second highest actually, there's someone who's got 216. Yes. But in mains, I have not scored that high. My written total was 774, and I don't want anyone to repeat this mistake, which is why I'm going to talk about it. That I did not complete, I wasn't able to complete any of my papers actually. My last answer in every single paper, I would write 1 page or 1 page kind of khali hi tha. And even the second last question was written in a complete rush, just somehow put down words ki like 2 number bhi aa jaye to ye hua. So the problem here is that from now, right now is June. So June until January anyway is your mains focus time. You prepare for like all the main subjects, you prepare for optional. But when it comes to answer writing and full length tests, now is the time you focus on paper completion. Take that 3-hour deadline very, very seriously. Put your pen down the moment you come to the end. So again, you know, a lot of us, and I definitely had the ego ka issue ho jata tha कि you don't want to submit bad answers to your teachers and get bad marks. तब लगता था कि यार, you know, motivation चला जाएगा, I'm going to feel very bad, and like, yeah, my confidence will go away. But if that's a problem, I'll say then don't even start with test series. Take PYQs, like take 2024 ka paper, but write it just in 3 hours, jitna bhi ho. Even if you can only complete 10 out of 20 answers, that's okay. But you look at topper copies or something online, just self-evaluate. Don't show it to anyone, so then there's no ego ka mamla. but be true to yourself at least to say ki in 3 hours how much can I do. Because the reason I say this, no, the trap I got into was to think, I'm going to write very nice answers, and once I get used to it, I'll just speed up the process. It doesn't happen that way though. In the actual exam, you will be running out of time. So when you know you have 40 minutes or half an hour left, the way you change all your remaining answers, that is a kind of thinking, like it's a decision that you have to make at that moment. How do you maximize marks, but how do you also complete the paper by writing the immediate answers? You will have to change something in the way you're approaching. So that is something, for that you need like practice with full length tests right from the beginning. So you focus on time limit from now to January. It's going to be much easier to do the value addition and quality improvement part even between prelims and mains. You have to keep preparing content anyway, but those 1-2 marks extra that you need by, like, you know, how do you include facts, how do you improve your introductions, how do you improve answer relevance, how do you include diagrams, everything, that little bit of quality improvement will be far easier to do than if, like I was last year, okay, it's August, it's July, but I'm still taking 4 hours or something to write my paper. That's going to like cause a lot of stress at that time. So do it the other way around, okay? First time and then that. That's the practice component for mains. Practice component for interview, go for mock interviews. If you don't want to do that, then at least like spend enough time talking to your parents or like some friend, or just practice in front of a mirror. Give yourself a topic, just record yourself, see how your expressions are, see your body language, but you have to constantly practice articulations. You know, we think in our mind like, I know I have an answer to this, I have an opinion, but the words you choose will matter a lot, because there can be slightly controversial questions. There are times when, like, you know, you just have to use better words when you speak, or like try to eliminate as many ums and ahs and non-fluencies as possible, and that comes only from practice. So interview ko bhi इतना मतलब casually नहीं लेना है, because there are too many people even among selected candidates this year who have done very well in mains, but maybe they didn't take interview that seriously. But that's a tremendous component, like a contribution to your final score, and it's also a very large field. Like remember, like you can get 150, you can get 180, you can get 200 plus. So mains में एक number ज़्यादा लाना so difficult, but in interview suddenly you can go 20 plus, 30 down, and you don't know exactly what's happening. That's why you have to prepare enough, you have to practice enough for that as well. And then just like one last thing I want to say is that why UPSC is different from other exams, like let's say the joint entrance exam, NEET, etc. They are not really testing your technical expertise or anything over here. Like no matter how many attempts I was given at joint, I don't think I would have been able to clear it. I don't have interest, that's not my area of like knowledge and understanding. UPSC on the other hand is open to everyone. For that reason, that someone from a technical background can do PSI or optional, can understand that. Someone from a humanities background can also understand geography or science and tech or any of this. It's not the difficulty that's the problem. But something that you need to realize is that this exam and its preparation is entirely about decision making. Every single day you are going to be taking like 20 micro decisions. Ki mera ye subject chhoot raha hai, how do I incorporate that? This is the part that I'm forgetting. So I did a little bit of math practice every day. I did some CSAT every day. Before mains, I even did Hindi every day, because for some reason I was like, ye bhi agar qualify na ho paye, school ke baad nahi kiya hai. So how do you incorporate that revision element? What time of the day you study? Suppose you couldn't read the newspaper today. Do you read that paper tomorrow, or do you like let that go? Do you make notes? How do you revise notes? Every little thing involves a lot of decision making. Let's say you are burnt out today, you couldn't study for 1-2 days. So in the remaining days, T, I think your mic is on. But yes, so how you manage the remaining days? Inka. T is the name. Idhar, niche. Yeah, yeah.
Whosoever is this T, stop the mic.
So that's what I'm saying, it's constantly going to involve decision making, okay? And that's what you need as a civil servant as well. So you have to just embrace that part of the prep, that it's doable regardless of your academic background, what kind of subjects you studied, what kind of a student you are in school, because the requirement here is very different. But you have to be up to that kind of constant decision making. You can take advice, mentorship from other people, but no one else can tell you what your optional should be or how you should approach something. You have to understand your own strengths and weaknesses. How do you orient yourself as per your own learning styles? These are decisions only you can make. So yeah, I think that's one more thing to just like remember about the exam. Baki ka now, if you all have any questions. Yeah. हाँ तो उस हाँ तो उसके बाद इज जस्ट अबाउट लाइक रिवाइजिंग नोट्स एंड लाइक
ताकि ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स को पता रहे
हाँ.
कि एग्जैक्टली so there's been a question asked by Bhuvan, right? So that you should be aware of the question, and as I said, make it interactive. Before you want to ask any question, just raise the hand. Anyone who want to ask question, until unless there is not a technical issue, ask your question with your webcam on. Amrita, online students, let us first handle the questions of those who are offline. This is what justice says. They have made the effort in the scorching heat of the sun to come to the class. You guys are sitting comfortably, है ना, within your house. So first preference needs to be given to whom? Those who are here offline, and then it will be your doubts. Okay, but we'll make sure whatever the question has been asked, we'll repeat the question. Might be you want to ask the same question. So the question which has been asked is the strategy regarding strategy regarding the PSIR preparation once the batch is over. ठीक है ना, once the batch is over, what strategy she followed in her optional exam, right? So you guys have just started the preparation, so this question is not relevant for you guys because he is done with the optional. That's why he has asked this question. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so someone just asked like how do we utilize these classes on a daily basis? So I think like yeah, that's what I was saying, another component of decision making, that if so many hours of your day are going in classes, how exactly do you want to spend the rest of the day? Something that I have seen in life in like college and school also, that the moment you attend something in class, if you go back and read up on that, revise your notes, it really helps with long term retention. Although usually we are like too lazy to do that and like your brain is too fried, but it really does help. So you know, half your work can be done during the course itself that you're following if you actually keep up to date with your classes and keep revising that. So now after the course ends, I'll say again, it's the revision component that you have to properly understand the course, understand all the concepts and components, see if anything is missed out. Like if you feel that there's some line of the syllabus on which you still don't have enough content or notes, then that is the part that you start looking up more. Okay, anything that is. Another thing that I feel, because PSIR optional is so dynamic, there's some work that you have to do also on your own in that regard. So I'll say the newspaper again is one important thing. People nowadays, I believe, have like started like following coaching institutes ka summaries of the newspaper. I am someone, I don't understand how that can be helpful, although people do clear the exam that way also. मतलब हाँ, हर तरीके से लोग clear तो करते हैं. But the newspaper really helps you form like an in-depth understanding. When you see something developing, all the editorials that you see, it's supposed to help you make sense of the world. And for this optional particularly, that is how you add on to what you've learned in your classes. Then you connect those theories to the editorials that you read. Towards the like, so something that I also did was follow some podcasts or like any YouTube channels also. So podcasts that I followed was Foreign Affairs magazine, Foreign Policy magazine. If you see, there's Sansad TV ka debates. Of course now I don't think they have that perspective show anymore, but I used to go back to their purane wale episodes ki India Russia relations, India Africa, something about the Indo-Pacific. So I used to just like listen to the old episodes. So my policy again was ki when I'm eating and I take a long time to eat, तो मैं खाते खाते I'm going to do something audio visual at that time. कुछ lecture चला लिया, so like use that time effectively. If you all are traveling for classes, तो metro, I used to water the plants every day at 5 o'clock. तो terrace में I used to just turn on a podcast at that time. So just try to use all of your time effectively in like these ways. So Foreign Affairs magazine, Foreign Policy, Al Jazeera, I believe, and Sansad TV were kind of the ones that no, sorry. Were the like things that, because that's what's going to bring an edge. Because you know, I have been sent some people's answer sheets and like mains answer copies, And what I've noticed is that, you know, notes kind of after a point सबके similar हो जाते हैं, the content that they are studying. So that's why your answers also look the same. But what matters and why people may not be getting very high marks is your answer really relevant to the question? Are you properly answering it? Are you, you know, showing enough depth of analysis, or are you just writing some words and some like things that you have read? And that shows in your optional answers, even if it doesn't show in GS answers. So that's why a little bit of extra reading is what helps you in your optional, apart from a one-stop solution. This is something I told Weber sir about, like ये तो right before mains I had actually shifted at that time to only IAS का मुझे online थोड़ा compilation मिल गया था, because what helps me in particular is कि एक मुझे source में दे दो कुछ like 200 pages 300 pages also if it is per section. I'm going to like just, it's helpful to revise it that way. A lot of people make their own notes in addition to like class notes, so that's why I'm saying you just see what all may you don't have enough. So if you think pressure groups and all that pay questions are changing, anything, so just do that. So yeah, and do enough answer writing practice. Again, I didn't do that enough. मेरा थोड़ा background है subject में, so I took it a little easily this time. But you should also do as much answer writing practice for optional, because it's different from GS. You should be writing in paragraphs, so the way you convey your ideas is different. Something that Rahul sir always says is the difference between GS and optional is that you're incorporating scholars, you're connecting everything to theory and to contemporary examples. You're not doing it to that great an extent in GS. So those, I feel every answer in optional should have some amount of like definition या clarity, concept समझा रहे हो, theory भी डाल रहे हो, scholars के names भी डाल रहे हो, maybe add some quotes and everything, then show some contemporary example. So especially suppose in the theory base, suppose the question is on section A stuff, always make an effort to include some contemporary like example. So democracy or justice, rights पे कुछ आया, you know, connect it to like something happening in America today. So like, you know, you're showing the examiner that you can apply that. If the question is ulta on something in paper in section B, which is about contemporary stuff, make sure you're including the theoretical perspective across paper 1 and 2. Just like keep making those interlinkages. That's what will help, because I used to see in my evaluated copies, those are the parts where the corrector would like write yes, like good, like I say. So that is the kind of thing that they are looking out for. Is there anyone else here? नहीं, मैं यही बोल रही थी कि आफ्टर दैट इज जस्ट कि नोट्स रिवाइज करते रहो एंड डू अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ वैल्यू एडिशन फ्रॉम वेदर फ्रॉम न्यूज़पेपर, वेदर फ्रॉम पॉडकास्ट, बिकॉज इट्स अ डायनामिक ऑप्शनल. सो दैट्स व्हाई यू विल हैव टू लाइक to improve the quality of your answers. I think that helps over time.
Whose mic is on?
Otherwise, step by step, it's just that you keep revising those notes and you have to keep doing answer writing practice and you have to keep updating yourself a little bit. Yes, so that's what. In my answer writing practice, I practiced with a lot of PYQs. मैं लेके बैठी थी 4-5 कुछ like ऐसे करके, and then I used to practice with that. PYQs will always like tell you like how much to write. So that's something you can start even while doing your course. Ki while I'm studying like Marxist theory or something, look for the PYQs. So I had done that कि मैंने PYQs लेके थोड़ा टॉपिक वाइज उनको क्लासीफाई करके भी रखा था ऑनलाइन कि इस टॉपिक से ये वाले डेमोक्रेसी पे ये सारे क्वेश्चंस आए हैं. सो यू कैन सी इवन इफ देयर इज अ ट्रेंड एंड हाउ थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग ओवर द ईयर. बट आई फील मोर और लेस optional questions, at least for PSIR, are predictable only. It's not like the question is very radically new or something. So that's why the focus is on how well you are writing. The question is not like GS जहाँ पे कभी कभी अजीब अजीब out of the box questions आते हैं. You can more or less predict it, but it's about how you write it. So start it as soon as you do your course, but that's why read the newspaper, connect it, do all of these things to improve the quality of what you write ultimately. Do that. Yeah, this
Do that. Okay, so that is why there's a 16 test series which is a part of your foundation classes. Okay, first go through the foundation and then be very consistent with your test. Despite saying it multiple times, you keep asking sir how to improve, how to improve. Despite saying it multiple times, that be consistent with your answer writing, students do not do that. Most of the students I have seen, first is what, let's say when at Rouse I was having around 300 students in one batch. Out of 300, first test, I guess 30 to 35 students used to write the first one. And second test, just half of the number, around 15. Third test, 2 or 3. Fourth test, 1 student. How many people I have in my test series program? 5. How many students are writing the test? 1 or 2. So even I didn't have the sheets to give it to all to give you the feedbacks. So the way is to start writing, but that writing will start once you are done with the foundation. You are asking about GS or optional? Right now this question is for GS or optional. So few questions we used to give in the class, you can write that, but you're you start writing in a proper manner, in a structured manner, once you are done with the content. Without content, there is not a possibility of writing answer. So this question is valid when once you are done with the foundation. Now how to keep yourself engaged, that is the thing. But still, if you have you do not have a command on the subject, this activity will not going to help you much. I guess rest you can.
So it's true that like often we tend to leave our test series till the end, and that's something I also did कि मैंने sectional test किए, but a lot of my FLTs were left, and it would have helped if I had actually pushed all of it पहले. But like I was saying, sometimes we are just like scared to attempt those test series कि like अच्छा, you know, I'll waste it or something. Right now I'm not up to that level. That is when practicing with PYQs on your own helps. That it's a no pressure situation. I'm just doing it for myself. So the way you evaluate those is to look at topper copies. So before all my mains prep, for every single subject, I used to look up as to who has got very good marks in that particular paper and analyze their copies properly. So for like GS subjects, for example, Shruti Sharma had got, ma'am who was rank 1 had got like 930 or something in GS, in written total. But like, so for GS, I looked at her and Ishita Kishore ma'am's very different ways of answer writing if you like compare the two. But yeah, you can learn something from both. Even Jagriti Avasthi ma'am who was ranked 2, I think 4 years ago or something, content heavy approach. So that's one way. Aditya Srivastav sir for ethics, I believe like 140, he had scored in that. For PSI or optional, I really liked Ankita Agarwal ma'am, again rank 2 I think in 2021 or something. I could see that in her answers I can like see some depth of analysis also, but she's managing to be concise and include everything relevant in that. And a lot of people in optional, I think, you know, waste a lot of time writing background कि question देखा मुझे इसका background या context provide करना है, जगह नहीं है आपके पास, it's just 150 words or 250 words. So how do you get to the point, but how do you still like show some depth of analysis over there? So I think all of this I learned very well from Ankita Agarwal's papers. Then Shrishti Dabas and Ishita Kishore, again 2 other PSIR papers, Utkarsh Dwivedi also. So you look at their answers properly, you know, identify little things about the way they are, how are they, like you'll see how Shrishti Dabas ma'am, for example, is including quotes, the way she would like include one in almost the beginning of every single answer, which is setting the tone for the rest of the paper. You know, the examiner probably did a little like double take or something in the end, that this person has identified a relevant thing to go along with the answer. It's a value addition point, it will help. So the way someone structures paragraphs, the way someone's using data, the way someone's using theory, how much of context or background to write, what is the flow between paragraphs, all of these little things you have to note about people, and then you write the answers to PYQs yourself and just like keep comparing. You can show it to your teachers, of course, at that time. That is the part where you gain confidence, I think. You know, this is you're doing on yourself. You show it to someone for advice only if you want to, otherwise you self-evaluate. Then I think that prepares you to then go for the sectional test. Then you start doing the sectional test, and yes, like try to do that part diligently कि जैसे जैसे पढ़ रहे हो, set like targets for yourself. So this is how I'm going to finish the sectionals. But also I'll say start with FLTs by January. Like don't leave that entirely for the time between prelims and mains, because you'll have too many things to take care of at that time. One round of FLTs maybe you can think of at that time, but like thoda sa, you know, get yourself in the practice of, because you also in optional have to choose your questions. So that also is something that you have to put yourself in the practice of how do I choose my questions. 20 markers is a different thing in optional as opposed to GS. So the way you divide time, उसमें 13 minutes देना है, इसमें 11 minutes देना है, all of this is going to change. Like there's some five of the 10 marker questions in optional in PSI in which you can write in points also, you know, like the way you'll understand looking at the question sometimes. Is it purely factual or is it something that requires explanation in paragraph? All of this practice will come when you look at the paper as a whole and you practice it that way. Yeah, is there? Okay, the question is about essay, what layout was followed to maintain good flow. So I think the way you go around essay is the beginning is again your hook part, something interesting that you involve over there. That has to flow directly into your next one paragraph or something which is about definitions. It's about clarifying your interpretation of the topic. How are you understanding it? How are you explaining the terms in it? And what is then from that, right from definitions, you're going into your thesis statement where you're kind of proving the statement in the essay. So again, the essay I attempted last year, I think, was The Doubters or True Man of Science, aisa kuch tha. So then the first part after definitions and my hook is to say, why is the doubter a true man of science? Like, how am I connecting critical thinking to scientific method? So either you can take a historical approach to show how it's developed over time, or you can show the implications of like critical thinking. Either way, the main part of your essay, like the next 2 pages, maybe even 3, is about the thesis statement itself. From that, you're flowing to the next part. Now you can change the order of these next 2 parts. One part can be to show the limitations or the exceptions, how that's not always the case, that the thesis statement doesn't always hold true. So you can show like people in science who've also followed very like rigid, biased opinions. So like 1 page or 1.5 page on something like that. Another part can be that you're not proving your thesis statement wrong, but you're also going beyond that. So you show how critical thinking or doubting is necessary, not just in science, but also in philosophy. Socrates has talked about knowing yourself, and the whole idea of Socratic dialogue is to question and question the premise of everything you're believing. You can say that's the same case in civil disobedience, in any democracy, the role of an opposition. So you're going beyond the thesis statement to show like a wider perspective on it. The last part of your essay should bring it down to something contemporary. So highlight contemporary examples, highlight a policy focus. So for a topic like this, you bring in NEP and like the whole focus on critical thinking within that, multidisciplinary learning. In the age of AI, human critical thinking, all the more important because misinformation, everything all around. So that is the policy focus. And conclusion, I would always, like the last page, I would end on a very broad ethical note. You know, you use words like collective conscience, collective progress of humanity, values, ye sab, like just make it as broad based, as like ethically minded as possible. So flow, that is how I would say your interesting hook, whatever anecdote that you're including, definition, expand on your thesis statement, show the limitations of the thesis statement, then go beyond your thesis statement. Like it's true, but like also all of this is true. You can also look at it that way. Then your contemporary policy focus, and then a broad ethical note to end the thing. This is what. So yeah, again the question is whether I followed that social political approach. So I did it, but not in a very rigid way. Like I've seen, like in a lot of topper copies, ki they used to write pestle and like tick it off with every example. So itna rigidly nahi kiya, but just in terms of the examples I was thinking of, I was always trying to diversify. Like never put like 2 history or like 2 3 economics type ka examples at one go, because that's not like the examiner's not going to like that. In the way you're writing only, you have to show ki you have the ability to like think in as like broad way as possible. So it's not rigid that every single essay needs like an example of all of those types. It's going to be very like different har tarike se. But as you're writing or as you're deciding the flow of your essay during your brainstorming type, just make sure you're not repeating. Like one page should not follow like one like thematic area, ki sub history, sub literature, too many movie references. Don't do that also. Like movie book references are good, but don't like litter your paper with that. But yeah, just ensure diversity of examples. That's it. Anyone else here? Then we can go online. Hmm. Hmm. So the question is on like someone doing their masters and how to manage time, whether it added value. So like I said, yes, I started my preparation after that because I just wanted to take full advantage of like the college time as it was and like just separate those two parts of my life कि अभी मजे करने हैं, सीखना भी है और फिर मैं UPSC पे I come into it differently. About managing time, I think that's the balance. You have to do enough to like score well and everything in college. So how much bare minimum then do you need to do to that? But make sure you're consistently giving at least like a certain amount of hours every day for your UPSC stuff. Weekends में उसको बढ़ा देना है. Okay, so whatever target or deadline that you set for yourself, target deadline नहीं मतलब number of hours, just make sure you stick to that. Again, like I said, this is your own decision to make, but you have to show consistency. You can't be like, right now it's deadline season, so I completely lost track of my UPSC stuff. And then if you're doing this together, I'm only saying that for that reason, then you completely lost track of UPSC, and then coming back to it is going to be difficult. So like don't lose like touch with this process. हमेशा थोड़ा थोड़ा कुछ करते जाना है. In terms of adding value, I think it added value just in terms of थोड़ा conceptual clarity. Not like I used a lot of theory or anything directly like from there. I was telling sir also because like the humanities background is very different from the kind of answers and what we need to do in UPSC. Like my professors would probably be scandalized seeing one of like my optional answers. So like there's a lot of unlearning that you have to do, and that's why I think people from technical backgrounds and all do well in this exam also, because you have to know exactly how much you have to do for this exam and not more than that. So stopping yourself and all takes a lot of unlearning from college stuff. So that way I didn't, but definitely it helped in terms of conceptual clarity ki like I already know a lot of these things, so building on that base is easier. Okay, so that's fine. Then I'll go to Amrita. Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
As you mentioned about the note, not a very good. So regarding the prelims, how can I actually I start reading geography for 3 to 4 days, then I shift it to polity. Then how can I revise it at the end of the week before the prelims? Can I complete it if I am not a good note maker, prepared good notes? If I have all the consolidated things in the book, I have all the markings and all the short everything, but not that kind of notes that in the sheet maybe the people. So if I don't have like that, then how can I manage for the reading?
Okay, so the way this works is that if you've read that textbook or that foundational material well enough, the next or the third time that you revisit it should go a lot faster. So I took 1 month to read Lakshmikant for the first time, but I did it very nicely at that time. I tried to memorize, learn everything up as I'm reading rather than postponing it for later. So the second or third time I got to that book, it took me 10 days, 14 days, and then like these are very thorough revisions. So I know I'm getting almost all my polity questions in prelims right, because polity, I will say that way, is one of the easier parts in prelims as far as it comes from the static element. If you've done Lakshmikant properly, then like there's no reason why you should get those wrong. So that's what. So I think if you're studying properly, your revisions will also go a lot faster, and you have everything like you're saying, any markings and all in the textbook anyway. The other thing is the way I approach revision was to take it as a block. So like let's say if prelims is in May, then I'm looking at March to May as like a solid revision, as many times as I can do within that. But a lot of people do take like weekly or like a revision block. कि Sunday को मैं I'll give 2 hours to it. A lot of people even give 1 hour to it every day. So again, that's an individual decision for you to make. How do you want to incorporate revision within your schedule? If there are factual parts that you keep forgetting, I'll say keep like half an hour to 1 hour for it every day. I did that for geography and for environment, like all the national parks, all the species, all of those just very factual things which are very difficult to remember at one go. Like you can't sit and like memorize 75, 80 like Ramsar sites at one go. So those are like things that I did every single day. day for around half an hour. So how you incorporate revision is up to you, but when you are studying, just like that's the thing for people who are not making notes. Like you don't have a cop out. You have to study very, very attentively so that the next time you come to it, it actually helps you and goes faster. Yeah, Nandana.
Oh, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
First of all, hearty congratulations, ma'am.
थैंक यू. और प्लीज
Ma'am.
आप लोग मैम बोलना बंद कर दो यार, बहुत हो गया.
Okay.
यस यस, नंदना. Go
Yes.
ahead.
So, ma'am, what should I call you?
Just don't call me anything. Just like call the Meghna's fine. Go ahead with your question.
Okay. So, I believe that the interview stage is much closer. Like, we feel closer to UPSC when we reach the interview stage compared to mains and prelims. So, ma'am, I just wanted to know how your interview day was, what all emotions you went through, and how you felt when you were sitting in the panel that particular day.
So like I said, I practiced a lot for every single like stage of the exam in my second attempt especially. So even before my interview, I gave like 16 mock interviews. So again, by then I'm like very used to that whole process. Ki like aise karke baithna hai, this is how it's going to go, this is how half an hour will feel like. So I think just like that regular practice helps you feel used to it. Then in terms of emotions, I think at that time you're just like your mind is just a laundry list of tasks. Like I need to make sure subah sari pehenni hai, so when do I need to wake up, all the prep elements that go into that, what do I eat, when do I eat. So my mother and I had made a list like that, wake up at this hour we do this, so then you have to book your cab, whatever. So I think the morning is just like purely goes into logistics. You're not really thinking a lot about the interview, just that mujhe पहुंचाना है अपने आप को. That's the main thing, and I think that helps you also. Like then you're not too stressed. Standing outside the room, I think you're going through the newspaper at that point. So I was the first person, so I didn't actually get a time to sit inside. But note to everyone, you can take your newspaper inside. Okay, apart from that, bag rakh dena padta hai, no metal items, but one newspaper you can carry with you and you can go through it over there. But I was the first person, that didn't happen, and that was the day or the day before that when Trump had just like instituted his tariffs and all. So like I'm furiously reading through everything. Kis country mein kitna hua hai? I'm trying to read editorials like what if they ask this. So yeah, any last minute stuff that you want to do. After that, like I said, I didn't get a lot of time because by the time the formalities and all finished over there, I was just like taken into my room. But if you get time to sit and think, I'll say apart from reading the newspaper, don't think too much about the interview. Don't think they will ask me this, then I will say this. Something that I've followed for all stages of my exam is that being calm before the exam is a lot more helpful than revising X topic, because you don't know if that topic will come or not. You don't know if they'll ask you that question or not. But it really helps if you keep your mind like very blank, meditative at that time. That sense of calm will help you answer whatever comes your way. So that applies to the interview as well. When you're sitting on that chair outside the room, just try to keep your mind like blank, like look at one particular spot in front of you and just like count like 2 minutes, or just stare fixatedly at something, try to meditate, do that. Okay, is that it or anything else about the interview? Thank you, sir. Okay, Bharat or Bharat, I'm sorry.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
And my question is related to the prelims part of this journey. So my question is that what is the number of questions that we should target in our GS prelims? So in order to be in a safe zone, because what I found that at most there are 25 to 30 questions which I am sure of. And when I came back home and checked, and then 2-3 I won. So what is the strategy to reach that safe market prelims?
Yeah, so even in my case, in this prelims I've got 117, but even for me there were around 30 questions maybe that I'm sure of, early 30s. So that's true for most people. Don't beat yourself up about that. So my strategy was, so this will depend entirely on your accuracy rate, okay, and that's why practice matters. You try to attempt as many mocks as possible to figure out your range of like what is your accuracy percentage. So because I had like quite a higher accuracy rate, so the way I never attempted over 90. I hardly ever attempted over 85 also. My range used to be 80 to 90, relatively easy papers closer to 90, relatively difficult papers closer to 80. In my first attempt last year, I attempted barely 70 or something. That scored like 82. So like this will depend entirely on your accuracy. Figure it out. That's why practice matters. And so if you see the paper is easy now, so understand that it's going to be easy for everyone who's kind of studied seriously. So the important thing to do then is to make sure you're not making silly mistakes. Okay, so like read the question multiple times, read the options multiple times, see whether you're marking the right answer in the OMR sheet. Just be very careful, because you have to maximize accuracy in a paper like that. Something that you feel is difficult, like the 2023 paper, tell yourself again, it's difficult for everyone. So there, deciding your attempts becomes very important. That if you're attempting 85, which 15 do you let go of? That decision matters a lot. Like you should be, erring on the side of like caution and like the subjects that you're better at. So those decisions then become more important. It's fine even if you get like a bunch wrong, because other people also probably will, and the cutoff will go down. Okay, so it's just that your strategy has to change slightly depending on the nature of the exam. But yeah, my attempt range used to be 80 to 90 this time. I can't see your name. Vanil. Vani, sorry. Yeah.
Even
Yes, yes.
good afternoon, ma'am. My question is related to our newspaper. So, how you used to consolidate the data cuttings in the newspaper? Like, did you used to make the small sort of it, or you used to keep it in your mind to add them in the answer writing?
Yeah, so again, this is related to my note making problem. Initially, when I started, I was making newspaper notes. Then I still have those copies left in my house somewhere, those like stacks of notebooks. I've never ever opened them. Then I shifted from notebook to Evernote, because someone told me it's easier to classify notes when you make them digitally. I tried that. I again never read those. So then after a point, I just gave up. And even if I used to take over 1 hour, sometimes 1.5 hours also for newspaper, I was okay with it, honestly, because I was really reading it very attentively. I would read the paper and then I would come back to the articles that I thought were important in the paper to zero in. It's very important to develop the skill of exactly, you need to know what to remember from that article. Okay, everything is not important. Whatever remains in your mind is the important thing, but you have to understand what certain articles will be just about the term, so when the chat gpt deep wala thing was happening, there were all these terms related to distillation. That is, that what they did they copy? There's something called reiterative learning, blah blah blah. How did they make DeepSeek? So that can become a prelims question very easily. That could have very easily become an interview question, and people were asked also at that time. So in an article like that, you just need those terms, what they mean, that's it. In another article, you may need some statistics, like what India's energy stuff, so what is our installed capacity, what is our target, what is anything about that. So like that's when you need statistics. In some other articles, you need arguments. That I remember reading an article about why the India Russia relationship is good for the world at large, not just like for these countries involved. So there you need to remember the arguments. So when I'm coming back to those, the ones that I consider important, I would quickly scan through that article, fixate on those things that I feel are important. Argument hai, fact hai, jo bhi, and I'm repeating them in my mind. I would like look up and like repeat them in my mind. So do it once, do it twice. Then whatever you remember from it is all that you need to remember, really. So I've like mentioned this example in other places also. One random Hindu editorial I read on parametric insurance maybe 1 year, 2 years ago is still in my mind just for that word. I just remember what parametric insurance as a term was, and I read something in that ki Nagaland government has tried it. Seva, the NGO, they tried on a pilot basis in Ahmedabad. In the time of climate change, this is becoming increasingly common. And I knew I can use this in disaster management, in geography answers anyway, new financial product to deal with like losses in this. So that's all I remember. Baki cheez like chale jaye na. So as long as you remember the term, that's it. So that's the habit. So if you can make notes and organize them and read them, then very good. I'm not saying ki mat banao, but you need to have a strategy to be able to revise and come back to them. But if you can't, just read it very attentively. Think about it ki like our elders and all who read the paper, they don't make notes, no. But like regular newspaper readers, they still remember important things from it. They know how to use them in conversation. How are they doing it? Just like by that. Just like read it very actively. Manya?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah.
I have a question to the interview
Yeah.
process. How do I develop the articulation skills, since the personality is basically tested in with all world? So how do I develop articulation skills on a daily basis, so by the time if I get a chance to give the interview, I'm able to develop?
एक तो the personality development part I think is a very cumulative process. You know, it will show if you are a completely rehearsed like product of like a coaching institute ki it used to be really surprising to me how like they used, sometimes people used to say such like generic things ki you should take a 5-second pause before you answer. Why? If that's not how I talk, why will I take a 5-second pause? Because I looked at the interview as a very conversational thing, and if like I'm talking to a friend and I start taking 5-second pauses, it's very weird, like I'm going to answer immediately. A lot of times they're like, you are not using your hands in this way, or you're smiling too much. Like there's a lot that you're going to hear, okay, about all of this. These are not generics that you follow. There's just like certain elements of personality you have to develop. So they want to see a certain amount of maturity. How do you show that? In the way like you're walking into a room or where you're sitting. I have seen a lot of like boys especially sit, how do I show it to you all, but like, you know, like both arms on the side of their chair straight like that. I feel that's a very defensive position that makes you look a little uncomfortable. Also try to avoid that. Just fold your arms like on your lap, okay? Like hands one on top of each other on top of your lap. Your voice level needs to be at a, you know, certain, not too loud but not too soft either. In the way you appear, slight smiles from now and then, but if something serious is being talked about, tab aisa nahi kiya like you're grinning when you're talking about like caste based violence or something. So just like know when to smile, how to look in the way that you're talking. Otherwise just please keep it very conversational. Practice enough so that on the day you can treat it like a conversation with your elders. Like let's say you're speaking to someone, your parents, grandparents generation, very well read, knowledgeable people. How would you talk to them? It's like, don't treat it as a Q&A session in your mind. Another thing in coaching institutes is to tell me ki short responses do, short do. Like nahi kyun yaar, as you all can make out, I'm sure I talk a lot. Like koi itna sa puche, I'm going to like give you like 10 sentences in return, but that's my way of talking, so I don't want to change that. So don't listen to every single thing that people say. Like maintain something about like your spontaneity. If you know, say two sentences and stop. See, you have to treat your interview like you have been given an opportunity of 30 minutes to appear in front of this board. Now you have to impress them. Something has to stand out. Now that's up to you. Now, if you look tortured, like I have seen this in people's mock interviews, itna stressed, tortured lagte hai. Think about those people who've been doing this for months now. Aur ek din bhi they are like meeting so many people, day after day they are sitting taking interviews. You also should look like you're happy to be there and you're like excited about this ki chance diya hua hai. Look fresh, look optimistic, look confident. But if you look like you're sitting like that and like barely like giving 2-line responses to their questions, you are giving up your own opportunity. So like take every question. If you know something, please talk about it अच्छे से. Don't play it very safe. Like people say कि कुछ भी थोड़ा पता नहीं है, they start saying I don't know. You should say I don't know and be honest if you really don't know something. But there are times when, again, don't be rigid to like for everything say like, sir, if I could take your permission to guess. The way I have approached it is just to say that I have not read any specific literature on this, but I can assume, or like the way I would look at it, it could possibly be, and then you give responses for that. Like I remember in one interview, I was asked ki growth rate kam hua tha us time in that quarter, GDP figures. So they were like, one of the reasons for that is ki consumption is going down. But the panelists said that if consumption is going down, why are GST collections going high? And I said, haan, like ye to sach baat hai. So like, you know, to an question like this, you don't have to say I don't know. You know, you can at that moment try to think of answers, and you can tell them that perhaps these are possible reasons. Perhaps inflation is one reason for that. Perhaps there's inequality in consumption. These are all hypotheses. Just make it very clear in the words you're choosing that you're thoda guessing. But if you say to this, I don't know, sir, again, you are losing your opportunity. Uska kuch nahi ja raha hai. That person's asked you a question. Are you taking advantage of that or not? So yeah, my advice is don't listen to all these stock things. The way interview scores go, I feel 150, 160 is usually the average. So if you're scoring below that, you might have like, there's something that you're messed up in. Maybe there's something that went really wrong in the interview. Ya kuch ho gaya. Above 160, I feel like, you know, 170s, 180s people get if you have good knowledge. So that's the part that comes from good prep. You take the interview stage of the exam seriously enough, you prepare, and there's no big mistake that you make in terms of personality. Like, you know, there's nothing about you that's evidently arrogant or dishonest or anything like that. Then with good knowledge, you should be able to get that. So, but my target was always 200 plus in the way I have been a debater and all in college. So I was like, इस stage में तो मुझे अच्छा करना ही है. I feel 190 or 200 plus you get where you have to show something a little different, you know, like you have to stand out in some way. That can either be through knowledge, that can either be because of the way, that's what I said. Like I used to always keep it very conversational, that this is not rehearsed, this is actually me. I'm trying to speak in a spontaneous way. So whatever your approach is, it has to be geared to your personality only, because they will understand, you know, if you are trying to, they've heard it before, honestly, you know, stock responses. I have seen on groups and interview people asking like, what should my opinion be on this? Like, iska kya matlab hai yaar? Like, you can speak to people, read like different things, but ultimately have some conviction in your own opinions. It always helps to have thought about socio-political stuff in the country and in the world in advance. Like, if you have opinions, it's easy to then articulate an opinion. You don't know what they'll ask. But like my first question was, because I've debated, they're like, what do you think is the point of students debating when at the highest levels in the country, in parliament, we see a decline of debate? Now, this is something that I've thought about in general. It's a problem in the country. And I know the coaching institute response to this would be ki like, say ki like, nahi, mera India mahan, like everything's fine, like not at all. But I could sense in the tone of what they were saying ki they expected some maturity. Like they wanted an acknowledgement that please acknowledge there has been a decline, and then we can discuss why or like what to change and what is the status of deliberative democracy and everything. But that acknowledgement had to be there. If I'm just going to deny ki like nahi kuch problem hi nahi hai, then I like pehle question say like my marks range would have been going down. But instead we had like, I had over a 10-minute long conversation with the chairperson on this, on the state of democracy and debate, and whether democracy is necessary for debate, for development. We went to talk about history writing, India se fir Trump, America, culture wars, cancel culture. All of this we talked about simply because I was willing to engage at like everything. And it was just constant back and forth, no like question. Like we are both just like giving opinion statements, and it's like proceeding like that. You take your interview that way, you know, you will immediately start scoring well. Articulation practice is something you have to do, whether you do mock interviews, whether you do, like I said, in front of a mirror, sit with a parent, sit with a friend. You require speaking practice like you require writing practice, like you require MCQ practice. Articulation is not going to like come suddenly, especially if English is a problem or something, then all the more like practice it. It's not about having a great vocabulary, it's just like with clarity, just like convey whatever you're trying to say. You know, come bolo, theek hai, but don't, like I'm saying, don't leave it at 2 sentences either. But still, you don't have to like wax eloquent or like be a Shashi Tharoor over there. That's not what's expected. And I think the board also is usually sensitive to these matters. You know, like they will also go a little easy on you, depending on your background and everything, how much comfort you have. Like someone who's like appeared for private sector interviews and all, the expectation is like different from another person who doesn't have like such a background. So they will be okay with it, but articulation is something you practice like anything else. तो मैंने इंटरव्यू के बारे में ज़्यादा बोल दिया because yeah, like I'm saying, that is something that like has worked well for me, and that I feel is like that's the stage of the exam that people take least seriously. I think there is less at stake definitely than in prelims and mains, but it can make a tremendous difference to your rank. Mains is important to get you into the list, but whether you want to write mains again or whether you want to get to your desired service in that attempt itself, the interview will make a tremendous difference for that. Like if I had got 15 marks less or more in like my like interview, then I would have maybe revenue else like right now. So that's why. So take this part of the exam seriously as well. Is there anything else then? Or okay, yeah. Thank you. Should I call sir now?
Just a question.
Yes, Madhushmita.
And this is Madhu.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you join offline test series or online test series, and did this make any difference in the preparation?
Oh no, so I had shifted back. I was initially in Delhi preparing over here in a flat with friends, but after my first prelims failure and all, I was like, बहुत बड़ा धक्का लग गया. I was like, मैं घर जा रहा हूँ immediately. Like I can't deal with other householding responsibilities right now. So then I took all my test series online only from home. I think it's fine. Like you just have to be true to yourself. What you can do is try to shift your environment. Like don't just write in the same desk. If it's possible, you know, these things are difficult, of course, but if you can change the surface or the table that you're writing on, if it's possible to go anywhere else. But otherwise, it's the same thing. I don't think it makes a difference. But try to write in the hours of the exam, 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. to 5, whatever the actual thing is, in the hours of the exam, and take 3 hours seriously. Then, yeah, Madhushmita.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, I want to know manage the current affairs. Like, read the management or like read the everyday newspaper that makes it, and also how do you use them in the answer writing.
Yeah, so newspaper something I read every day. Monthly compilations I tried to follow. So my target was to read a certain number of pages, 10 pages or something of it every day. Jitna ho paya, how many ever months I could complete, fine. Then I did Vision IS ka like PT 365, Mains 365 only. I would read the yearly wala thing. So my approach to those magazines was also to read it twice. Like I said, first time is going a little slowly, fine, I'm taking my time. Second time, I'm again zeroing in on the important parts only. So I'm like just scanning the page quickly as I'm reading it. Do I need the fact here, whatever I need. So that was like for current affairs. Incorporating it again, like that's something I did very spontaneously. It's like ye dimag mein hi ja raha hai. Now when I'm writing the answer, it should like click to me. That's what like I expected from myself. And that's an thoda analysis you need to develop of connecting different like parts of the syllabus and everything. There are, I think, two more. Like Shreya, yes.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Huh.
Ma'am, when the toppers say that integration of current affairs in the static books, I'm not able to really understand what they are integrating and how to do this. How to integrate the current affairs and the static and whatever updates we have in the world happening. How do we integrate in the loop?
So how to integrate in notes, maybe other people would be best placed to guide, but if you're writing in a notebook, maybe you could keep loose sheets, any news update or something that you can find, write it in as brief a way as possible, you know, and like just keep adding those sheets of paper. If you're making digital online notes, then easier to just like insert that section. So like I said, you know, if you're studying about democracy and something happens with a recent election or something, that's the way you're integrating current affairs. No, abhi aur kya, फिर nuclear energy ka, like now in this budget, all that has been announced about it. Now currently with nuclear sites being attacked and all in Iran, so that's a whole other angle that's like coming up, that is it really safe? So when it comes to assessing positives and negatives of nuclear energy, now that's again something that you can add. So whatever, wherever you have, you keep this in your head, like for me, like that's what, while writing only, I would say I would expect it from myself, this should occur to me about nuclear energy. Or if you have notes somewhere, then that's just like how you add it, that's what we mean. So you have to develop that sense when you're reading anything current affairs, you have to, you know, read it with a very open and active mind so that you can connect some part in your syllabus to it. Then Jadav, I think.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes.
मैम मेरा एक छोटा सा एक्सपीरियंस था कि मैं ग्रुप में अटेम्प्ट किया था तभी क्वेश्चंस वर नॉट दैट टफ लेकिन ऐसा हुआ था कि जस्ट यू हैव मेंशन टारगेट क्वेश्चन नहीं नॉट टारगेट क्वेश्चन मतलब मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस मैं बैकग्राउंड से स्टार्ट तो क्या हुआ कि ये बैकग्राउंड से कनेक्ट करने के चक्कर में जो मुझे जो पता मेन पॉइंट्स वो मैं एग्जाम में परफॉर्म नहीं तो मतलब मैं कैसे कर सकता मतलब बैकग्राउंड पे मैं सेम टाइम में लिख सकूँ और ये जो कनेक्टिविटी है वो स्टार्टिंग से एंडिंग तक सेम फ्लो मेंटेन करना चाहता हूँ मतलब हाउ कुड आई कवर दैट
So I think as far as possible, just like avoid background. In UPSC, that there isn't a lot of space to write background. Your introduction should like just directly get to the point. Either write an explanation of whatever term or concept is used, or use some fact or data point type of a thing, or connect it to something happening in the news, something very contemporary right now. These are three things that you can do. Try to minimize context or background unless it's very, very necessary. Otherwise, I know like we all tend to get carried away with it. But the format of the exam is such that background के लिए ज़्यादा अब जगह है नहीं. In optional, still to some extent you can do it. Your first para can be a slightly like background context wala para, but even then you have to quickly move on. Like not more than one para at all. You have to go right into answering the question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Done, guys. I hope the session will going to help you, and have to do. Just how well you will go, what we are. And I always say, uh, it's the aspirant who will make the difference of the knowledge being given by us. Same knowledge will be used by every aspirant differently. So in the end, it is the aspirant who brings the rank. Okay, that's why we don't want to take much of the credit in anyone's success. We take very less credit. Even we don't want to take that. If someone gives, that is totally fine. But personally, we don't claim, because I was also the aspirant and I know what it takes to prepare for UPSC. Okay. So in the end, it is you who will going to use this knowledge. What we can help you is always being there for you, telling you with best of our experience that whether you are doing things right or not. We'll keep you on track. So we'll keep conducting sessions like this. Hopefully next year, one of you will be motivating the others. So just a thin line difference. Do not think that it requires a lot of knowledge. We were just before this session, we have discussed this aspect also, that where she has been passed from the elite institutions, that what is the difference. So in the first day, probably you remember I told you, you're not here to become scholar, you're not here to become philosopher. Her journey was, she wanted to be a scholar. Her journey would have taken her to become a scholar, but she chose to become administrator, a diplomat, a bureaucrat. So the way she has written marks in her college days, she can't write in UPSC, and that's what she was saying. अगर मेरे आंसर्स मेरे प्रोफेसर पढ़ लेते, ठीक है, तो दे वुड हैव स्कोल्डेड मी लाइक एनीथिंग. हमने क्या पढ़ाया तुझे, ये है मार्क्स का कॉन्सेप्ट, राइट? बट दिस इज व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड इन UPSC. सो द आंसर विच इज बीन अप्रिशिएटेड इन UPSC वुड हैव बीन such a average and a disaster in graduation. What you are writing in graduation will make no sense in UPSC. If you start writing answers the way you are writing in your graduation days, you will never able to qualify your exam. Okay. So here it is speed. Here it is quick compilation of the things. Here it is to the point, because here you have to study so much. ठीक है? Yes. मोनाक, बहुत जल्दी याद आ गया तुझे कि तुझे कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछना है. बोलो. हाँ, कोई बात नहीं, सोच रहे थे. आई होप सोच के कुछ अच्छा सा पूछोगे जो नहीं पूछा अभी तक. बताओ. हाँ हाँ बोलो. हाँ, यू आर ऑडिबल. Got it. So it has been how many months and year you are preparing? 7-8 months. You are done with your GS. So the question is that he is feeling overwhelmed with the syllabus, with the amount of information, so much of content.
Like I had like talked about this earlier. I think the way to calm yourself down is just to stick to your routine. Like don't, the way in initial stages of my prep, while I was in Delhi, I would actually schedule something time also. Like पढ़ते पढ़ते कुछ like panic हो जाता है. Like अभी मैं नहीं सोचूंगी, मैं रात के 11 बजे बाद I'm going to think about. You would like try to schedule even your stress and your panic or however you want to overthink about something. पढ़ाई के बीच में try not to like go in that direction. Just like fulfill your targets for the day. Just execute in a very objective way. You will see the change in yourself. I'm sure like this, the time before mains or prelims may not be as confusing as it is right now. At that time it's just going to be stressful because it's in the exam is immediately at hand, but it won't be confusing. You know exactly what you have to do. It's just like, why can't I? You're constantly running against time. So confusion is a very natural part of like the state of your journey, and it's definitely good. Like by the time like you reach Feb or something for next year, you'll feel a lot better than you are right now. So instead of getting carried away with all of this, just try to fulfill your daily strategy. That's it.
Okay, then Weber, please come. So, how many of you want to have a class political science now? That is, ajo. That is we have to start from what, where we left the discussion yesterday? Socrates and Sophist. You remember, Meghna? So you want to have a class? No? You want to have a party? No? You want to have snacks? You want tea or so? Online students, we can't offer this to you. Drawbacks of doing online. Few advantage needs to be there for offline students. You want tea or Coke? Raise the hand. Hello, no one is interested. Tea or Coke? Tea. Coke. Sonia? Anything? कुछ भी भाई, फिर कुछ भी में तो तुम लोग डिसाइड कर लो. कोक हो गया फिर, डन. ओल्ड मॉन्क, वेरी गुड तन्मय, तेरा सिलेक्शन पक्का है. इंटरव्यू में जब ऑफर करेंगे, कई बार इंटरव्यू में ऑफर कर देते हैं, तो यू वांट व्हाट, सो जस्ट से ओल्ड मॉन्क. सर ओल्ड मॉन्क है क्या? परफेक्ट आंसर है ये. फिर तुझे उसके बाद पक्का जरूरत पड़ेगी. ठीक है. Yes, Madhu, switch on your webcam.
So, sir, right now, I'm like,
You can't have what?
if there was a video call, I have some time.
अच्छा, no worries. हाँ, you can ask your question.
Question में आपने बोला ना hand.
अच्छा, तो हैंड रेस की है, बट हम तुझे अभी टेक्नोलॉजी इज नॉट डेवलप दिस मच ना दैट वी कैन सेंड कोक देयर.
Next year Delhi आते हैं.
परफेक्ट. फिर तो कॉफी, टी, कोक, all three options are there for you. तन्मय, old monk after the rank. ठीक है ना? We have a rule. We don't drink with whom? Principals rules that we don't drink with those. We'll tell you this principle sometimes later. When is the right time to drink? Okay, in the class. So, आजो. अरे नहीं मेघना, ये तो रिचुअल है. यू डिजर्व दिस, है ना? हाँ, आ जाओ. गौरव सर, आओ जी, आओ. तो जस्ट अ टोकन ऑफ लव फ्रॉम आवर साइड फॉर योर ग्रैंड सक्सेस, एप्रिसिएशन. आओ सर, आओ वैभव सर. आदित्य, क्या कहना है या क्या कह रहा है? सर मुझे भी चाहिए. ओके देन, भेज दिया क्या दिगंबर को भी या नहीं? ओके गाइस, तो विल रिज्यूम आवर क्लास. कल तो फिर वो है क्रैश कोर्स. आज फ्राइडे है ना, मंडे को ही होगा क्लास. तो फॉर 2 days आई हैव अ क्रैश कोर्स क्लास from 3 to 5:30. So we'll resume your classes from Monday. That is from 2 to 4:30, same, right? So we'll resume your classes from Monday. Meanwhile, you can revise what all we have discussed, and there are many others who wants to join the same batch. So it will give a breathing space for them also to watch the previous lectures. Okay? So see you guys on Monday. Bye, online students. Take care.
Thank you so much.
So let us have a Coke party. You guys can enjoy at home. Bye. Take care. See you all on Monday. Okay. ज्वाइन कर अभी जून बैच या मई बैच में भूल गया. हो गया जून बैच ज्वाइन कर? अच्छा.